It's a good question that Alexis poses there, Ali. What is next for them? What's wrong with Atleti?
And that's a question that Diego Simeone has not been able to answer. Now, we can go into tactics, we can go into formations, we can go into the rotation of players and as to what the cast of characters are available to Diego Simeone, if we want to go down that path. But this game was not decided on those instances, on those decisions. It was decided on set pieces. And for years upon years upon years, if you had to bet money on a team winning on a set piece, in a goal that mattered, in a moment that mattered, it would have been Atletico Madrid. And now what we find from this team is that they're unable to defend set pieces. It wasn't just the goals. The save that Jan Oblak has to make is Íñigo Martínez showing a desire to get to the ball ahead of everybody else in Atletico Madrid. And that is a word that I'm going to go back to, desire from Atletico Madrid. When this team has been at their best, there's been a hunger, a desire, an intensity, an energy, an urgency about this group. You don't see any of that, and no better example or worse example from the perspective of Atletico Madrid than in defending set pieces. You're winning 1-0. You haven't played great, but you're winning 1-0. And you allow goals from set pieces, and you allow to be dominated time and time again from set pieces. That part right there says a lot about Atletico Madrid, and it goes far beyond tactics and personnel available on the field.
Yeah, Sid, you'd say that Simeone's Atleti don't look like Simeone's Atleti right now.
That's exactly it, isn't it? And Ali, I think, has put the nail on the head there, that this is what's so striking about Atletico Madrid, is that the things that they are getting wrong are the things that traditionally they got so right. And that tells us something about an issue that we've talked about for a lot of this season, if you like, the evolution in identity, the sense that maybe the things that the manager wants or the things that the manager sees is not entirely shared by the players, that sense of common cause isn't there anymore. And all this can perhaps... Simplifying, I realise that we're simplifying too much to say this, but I almost wonder if, in a way, perhaps the big problem that Atletico Madrid have got right now is that they're league champions. And that in a way that becoming league champions has led to a kind of a decompression, has led to a kind of a questioning of some of the approach, has led to a slight lack of, Ali was talking about it in terms of desire, of that little bit of an edge, that little bit of something extra competitively, that extra degree of concentration. And Atletico don't have it. And that's what's so striking about this. This isn't just a team that's not winning games. It's a team that's losing them the way that they never would have lost them before.
It's not the Atleti, the force that we're used to, is it?
It's really odd and difficult to explain quite clearly. Listen, and here's the thing with me. We've been speaking about Diego Simeone and this Atletico Madrid team and how negative they can be at times, but then when needed, how good their football is. We were talking about that recently with Villarreal and how they came from behind and how good their football was when he had all his attacking players on the park and deserved that point for their football at the very least in the last 30 minutes, where the first hour was pragmatic, for want of a better word. The second was more on the front foot, more attack-minded, more pleasing to the eye. He starts a very attacking lineup here against Bilbao in the final. And the thing for me, for as good as their football was in the for the front hour, that last half an hour was everything that Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid has not been. And you cannot put that down to having attacking players on the park, because Bilbao's greatest threat came from set pieces. And that's just about organization. That's just about who wants to pick up their spaces or their man, or however you decide to defend those set pieces, however you decide to position and place responsibility, who takes that on. And the one thing, whether we're talking about an attack-minded Atletico Madrid or a defensive Atletico Madrid, the one thing you can say about Diego Simeone's teams has always been every individual has stuck to their task and done so brilliantly well. Now all of a sudden you can't, and you cannot put that down to just simply having João Felix and Le Mans, the pitcher, and the other attack-minded players. There's something far more deep-rooted, which is the bigger concern for Atletico Madrid.